Hey friends, Justin Silly Gaming here, and we are finally about to play Kerbal Space Program. Played this game a little before. I love it. It's probably my favorite game ever. And we are going to start a whole new career. And you're coming along for the ride. I've got my camera angle a little lower. Let me know what you think. So here we go. We're going to obviously choose the NASA flag. And we are going to have difficulty options normal because I am no rocket scientist. Okay. Oh. We are going to call it YSG. Basically, this game, you run your own space program thing with these Kerbals on this place called Kerman. Basically, there's Kerbals, Kermans, and I can't remember. But basically, we were on some other planet, and this is our space station. Space station? This is our space center. So we've got where you get your contracts. We've got yeah, thank you. We've got this place, which is, we'll have a little look around. Why not? Why not? You need to get into this. So this is the space plane hangar where we can build planes instead of rockets. But I never really do too much of that. I prefer to build the rockets and blast them into space and blow them up and kill everybody. So this is where we build our space rockets. This is where the rockets take off from. This is where we can view things, sciencey looking things like the Earth, and look at rockets in space that we've already sent out and their orbits and stuff like that. Here is where we can research things, and here is where our Kerbals live. And so what we need to do to get started is go and accept a contract. And these contracts work. They tell you what to do and how long you've got to do it. And then you get money, you get an advance to build your rocket, and you get these little blue things here called science. And these are very, very, very important. So what we're going to do is gather scientific data from Kerbin. Kerbin is the name of the place that we're at, because that is what I was trying to say earlier. So we are going to take that one, and we're also going to launch our first vessel, and that is what we'll do in this episode. So if we go back, I'll just show you the science building quickly. This is where we research everything. As you can tell, the music makes it even more intense. And look at all this researchable stuff. And so this is what we've got so far. We own these parts. Not a lot. Not a lot at all. And say when we get 5 science, 5 little blue flashy sciencey things, we can get some more thrusters and fuel tanks. Or we could get engineering stuff like decouplers, and all this stuff will make sense to you because I had no idea about any of this until about November, and now it's just kind of a second language. So we're gonna go and do our first rocket in this video, and hopefully it's gonna go well. So we see down here we've got our contracts, and so we've got to recover or transmit any science experiment data from Kerbin to achieve this goal. And we have to launch our first vessel off the launch pad or runway to achieve this goal. So, to build a rocket, you need certain amounts of things. You need a command pod. This is where your Kerbal lives. He lives in there. And then we don't have any fuel tanks yet. Obviously, we have nothing. But we do have this RT5 solid fuel booster, which we can stick on the bottom. And we're just going to take this down to show you how big this thing actually is. Look at these tiny little guys walking around. There's a rocket here, sir. And you look at him walk. He can't walk. I think everybody in Kerbin needs the toilet. As you can see, this guy here, he's running. And he is running to find the nearest portable lavatory. So we don't really have anything else. We've got these girder segments. But we do have basic fins, which we will stick on. And we should also have a parachute so that when we fall to Earth, we don't die. We've also got some science. I might as well just stick one of these on for now because we can't transmit any data. That's not really the most symmetrical thing I've ever seen in the world, but it'll do. We're only going to go not very high anyway. So, and we are going to call this the YSG Launcher 1. And that should be enough. Oh, down here though, what we'll see is, if I get rid of these are our stages, and these say what's going to happen. So at the moment, when I press go, our parachute and booster are going to go at the same time, which can only spell disaster. So what we need to do is move our booster down here, so that our booster goes, and then the parachute goes. For some reason, all the numbers are backwards. So 0 is the last one, 1 is the first one, which I guess is like all T-minus-y numbers and stuff. But anyway, let's do it. So, let's just check our crew. This is Jebediah Kerman, who's going to be our main guy. And we got Bill Kerman, who's an engineer, Bob Kerman, who's a scientist, and Valentina Kerman, who's our backup pilot. But we're cool with Jeb. We like Jeb. And so here we go. I mean, you can see our kind of small space center. It doesn't look very good. Now, what you want to do if you're playing this, if you are a Kerbal, I'm just never going to get it right. Oh, we can just have a look inside this really quickly as well. This is what we can see. There's some bottles of water there. We're not expected to go into the sky for very long or very high. But if you are a Kerbal who is a pilot, what am I doing here? I've forgotten how to get out. There we go. Who's a pilot, then you have this thing called SAS and RCS, which I don't actually have on at the moment, but SAS is basically stability, stability. It just helps you fly. And here we go. Let's get our contracts up. Come on, contracts. Oh, come on, contracts. There we go. So what we need to do first is a little experiment on Kerman. Observe the mystery goo. The goo doesn't seem to be doing much right now, but we get 3 science for that if we take it. So we will. And here we go. Here we go. We're about to launch in 3, 2, 1. Go! And there is our launch, and it's good, it's good. And what we're going to do is slowly move ourselves at an angle so that we can crash down, not crash, but use our parachute over the sea. And soon we're about to run out of that fuel. As you can see, Jeb's loving it in the corner there. And we are going to hit, what are we going to hit? Maybe 5,000 meters in this first flight. Well, actually, we'll probably hit a lot more than that. We'll probably maybe get up to maybe get up to 7. The only thing we don't have yet is decouplers, and these decouplers will eventually make it so that the rocket splits here and just this pod comes down, rather than trying to land on top of this, which could still technically be full of fuel. You can see up here we've got our first contract, and we should get some good science and money for that. Now we're starting to reach this, the speed here is dropping a lot, and we are going to start to fall to Earth anytime soon. Let's speed up a tiny bit. As we're now falling to Earth, and we are going to try and fall bottom first, but that might be a bit difficult because of this weight. Why didn't I think of that? But anyway, we're not falling too fast, and hopefully, quick save, this parachute will work, because I don't want to fail on the first mission. That would be very embarrassing. I may also turn just a couple of the graphics bit down on this, because it seems to be, I don't know, a little bit jerky, but I'll turn them down after this flight. But as we come down to about, where are we? We're at 2,000 meters. We're at a decent speed. We still can't rock it, but we are gonna do the parachute anyway. And hopefully the parachute is going to stop us before we hit the water. Come on. There we go. Tip us round. And what we're going to do is just a quick crew report as well over the sea. And we get some more science for that. But we can only do one crew report at a time, I believe. Because we have nowhere to store any information. And we can't transmit any information back because we don't have anything that'll do that. So say I've done that crew report over the sea. I do think now that when we land in the sea, if I was to do another crew report, I would have to overwrite it, which I am not going to do. So it's a success. And now if I go to recover the vessel, it should. There we go, look at that. Look at that. We've got 21 science. We got crew report while flying over the shores. We got the mystery goo observed, and we recovered a vessel that survived a flight. We can learn a lot from all of those things. These are all the parts we got back, which is good. We can reuse them. And yep, gain some EXP. And all the contracts have been done. Here we can see contract complete. And we've got some milestones here, which are always cool to look at. We've done one of our first experiments. We've recovered our first crew. We've splashed in the ocean. We've broken a land distance of 3,000 meters. Altitude distance of 7,000 meters. Speed record of 250 meters per second. They're all a bit in the random places, but those are our milestones. We get science for that as well. So here we go to our science. And what are we going to get? Well, we can probably afford both here. Now obviously you can't just start right at the very end, you need to work your way through. So let's look at basic rocketry. We'll get the LVT-30 Reliant Liquid Fuel Engine, which is much better. It actually requires fuel though, rather than those ones we were using at the moment. The RT-10 hammer is basically what we just used, but a bit bigger, so it's got a bit more thrust and a bit more fuel capacity. And then we've got actual fuel tanks, which we definitely want if we're going to do anything of use. We can go to engineering as well. And here we get science. This is more sciencey stuff. We've got a communitron, which lets us transmit data from the sky. And we've got a decoupler, which will let us split our rocket in two, or into as many pieces as we want. Now we've still got 11.5 here. I don't think we can get anything. We cannot. But what we can do is go to look at another contract. Aha! This is Gene Kerman. So, there's a lot of focused observational surveys. We don't care about that. But what we can do is test out the RT-10 Hammer Solid Fuel Booster, which is what we just got with that science. So we'll take that one. And test the Mark 16 flight. Now, is that going to be... We're going to take this one. See, to do this one now, we need to have an altitude of 3,000, 6,000 meters and a speed of 30 to 110. So that could be difficult because you don't have any control over the speed with the solid fuel boosters. But we're going to try it anyway. But before we do that, and before this loads, we're going to end this video here. And I hope that you've enjoyed it. I hope that you're as interested as I am, because I love this game, and as you'll learn, it can be horrifically annoying when nothing goes right, and hilarious when things blow up. So stick around. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, and watch all my previous things, and there'll be lots more Kerbal Space Program to come. So, don't you go change.